Up. We are thrilled to be joined by Caroline Stott from the University of Queensland and Dr. Melissa Nikolic from QUT to tell us how universities can help grow our sector. We've already heard that some of the technology being developed comes out of our university sector. Caroline is Associate Director leading the Energy Transitions portfolio within the University of Queensland's Strategic Partnerships team. And Melissa leads QUT's industry engagement for the critical energy, minerals and energy storage portfolios, including Quest Hub, a cornerstone of the Queensland battery industry. Both have impressive commercialisation and collaboration experience and records, and it is no accident that they bring that collaborative spirit to this address to discuss the importance of university sector in building our supply chain ecosystem. Much of our commercial success has been born or facilitated by our world-leading research sector. Welcome, Caroline and Mel.
Thank you, Quentin, and it is great to be here today with everybody. Is that coming? Perfect. So, as Quentin said, my name's Caroline Stott from the Strategic Partnerships team, and I'd first like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands on which we're meeting today and pay our respects to elders past and present as we walk together on the path to reconciliation. Now, I think what we'll do today, I've provided a bit of a higher level overview of the role of universities, which I think will then dovetail nicely into what Mel is going to present to you. But I first wanted to give a little bit of context as to why we have teams like my team, Strategic Partnerships, and Mel's team, Industry Engagement at the university. So our teams are designed to be the front door for government and industry engagement. We are terribly difficult organisations to navigate. I'm sure many of you have had frustrations trying to find equipment, infrastructure, researchers, and figure out how to engage. And in an ideal world, we try and make that easier. So within our portfolios, there's a core focus on supporting advanced materials, both the critical energy transition minerals and strategic materials, as well as battery energy storage value chains. So development, deployment and integration of clean energy technologies is a critical element of both decarbonisation policies and industry development priorities in Queensland, Australia and globally. And in the past years, as we've heard today, we have seen numerous policy agendas and strategies across states and territories and at federal levels that are designed to support this. These are driving economic opportunities in priority regional hubs across this state and others, and there are common themes throughout. And these include supporting industry to innovate and commercialise technologies, driving investment and supply chain growth, positioning states as preferred suppliers for domestic and international markets, strengthening economic resilience, supporting onshore manufacturing, sovereign capabilities, and the skills of the future workforce. Now, that is a lot to bite off. And so what I would like to focus on today is the first theme around innovation and specifically how universities can help with this. And it dovetails really nicely into the final comment that Lex made in that last session around looking at what is coming in the future. And so this is focusing on innovation, and I must acknowledge that I'm taking some of this from as inspiration from Professor Tim Castell, who's the director of UQ's Andrew and Liveris Academy for Innovation and Leadership and the author of many publications and articles in the innovation management space. Anyway, so back to innovation. It starts with a new idea, the lightning bolt. What if we could do this? Followed by the hard work to make it real, and this is where the monkey wrench comes in, hours, time, commitment to actually figure out how to do this. And then finally, what will create or unlock value for all of our stakeholders. And that last piece is key. So where we often come unstuck, we've got the first two, but there isn't enough thought given to, or there's a lack of understanding of the value creation element and how that applies to the various stakeholders involved in our projects. So where do universities fit, and how can universities support industry and government partners across the entire innovation process? Universities have come a long way in the last 800 to 900 years, and they've evolved to be centres for ideas, knowledge creation and research for the benefit of industry and society more broadly. And now universities need to rise to the challenge of supporting partners and the transformation to a decarbonised global economy to meet net zero targets, including those contributing through progressing the battery energy storage value chain. And so this is where universities traditionally come into the picture. This is the innovation loop, highlighting the core skills and processes that are needed to work through uncertainty, build innovation capability, and underpin a successful innovation effort. Every idea is costly: time, effort, goodwill. And universities provide the foundation upon which to iteratively test, explore, and learn so as to validate value in advance, minimise risk, and not just build, launch, and hope for the best. There are many ways in which to partner with universities to work through your individual innovation loop and the broader innovation process. For example, through competitive research grants, direct contract commercial research, and bespoke funded programs where you connect with state or federal government initiatives. We've heard this morning about the Minerals to Megawatts CRC bid, which UQ is supporting, that if awarded, is one platform that will enable universities to support industry and government innovation efforts. Another example is the $200 million Critical Minerals and Resources Technology Trailblazer, which UQ is a partner in with Curtin and JCU and many industry partners. This federally funded program, awarded in 2022, is designed to transform the way industry, universities and researchers work together. Particularly through the University Transformation Pillar, this includes exploring and understanding value creation as an input into commercialisation planning. Now, these are two brief examples that demonstrate how universities have dramatically evolved their thinking in a relatively short period of time and continue to do so in order to support the innovation process of their partners. And now what I'd like to do is change tack slightly and think of it from a university perspective. So in a rapidly changing environment that we as universities find ourselves in, we need to think innovatively about our own approach, and this is where we actually need your help as industry and government partners. So taking UQ as an example, if we consider UQ research facilities and infrastructure that support the various components of the battery energy storage chain, it is a very busy picture that has been developed over years. We have numerous centres that host infrastructure and equipment across each element of the value chain. And trying to navigate or coordinate across these can be very difficult. So this is from mining and processing of raw materials right through to reuse and recycling. There's state-of-the-art facilities and infrastructure that support activities, and this is just a selection of some of the physical infrastructure. It doesn't even begin to cover all of the centres, institutes and faculties and the researchers themselves that have the expertise and the professional staff that actually support all of the initiatives that are run through these centres. And so if you then consider the location of facilities and infrastructure, we see these as being grouped and also co-located across our campuses. We're trying to make ease of access for industry partners clearer and easier to understand. We see this grouped across Indooroopilly, Long Pocket and St Lucia. And for those of you not familiar with where we currently are right now in St Lucia, where the UQ Materials Performance and Advanced Materials Processing and Manufacturing and Fire Engineering labs are currently all based in this building. So the question I have is, how can we as a university work towards innovating our own model for engagement, access to our researchers, our facilities and our infrastructure in a way that supports the collaboration that we are undertaking with our partners, industry and government, that creates value for all? And we have success stories. We have examples like Pure Battery Technologies, GMG, Zeotech, but surely there's more that we can do to innovate our model and support value creation. And so one approach is to consider the enablers to facilitate industrial development and grouping activities to progress critical path R&D and prototyping to accelerate the innovation and commercialisation process. And this slide is something that I co-developed with an industry partner to get a feel for what they're looking for so that we can then translate that back into our own university. So looking right to left, you've got connecting components to progress the entire battery value chain. And this enables the development of battery technologies from a fundamental level through to manufacturing and ultimately closing the loop. Another approach is to consider the enablers within a specific thematic area. So looking within, say, minerals processing, how do you actually create value within that one area, advancing a theme or component development rather than working across the whole system. Another approach would be to say, great, this is the infrastructure technology side of things, but there's a whole other area. How do we consider engagement and the contracting processes, regardless of the approach across this value chain? How do we streamline mechanisms for access? Another approach is what's missing from this picture. If we're forward thinking, what's coming that we need to be prepared to explore now as a future opportunity? How do we build on the current facilities and infrastructure that's on offer to meet your emerging needs? How do we understand user demand for facilities and infrastructure? How do we keep pace with change? And how do we do all of this while bringing in a human-centred element as well? Communities, transition, workforce, modelling, policy and permitting. How do we also incorporate that when we work through this? And so it comes down, in my opinion, to communication. All great partnerships require two-way communication to set expectations, articulate challenges, and to find what value creation looks like for all. And so on the one hand, let's understand what we have and where it fits with partners and their needs to support their own individual innovation process. And then on the other hand, as a university, let's innovate ourselves to optimise access to research, knowledge, infrastructure and equipment. So let's innovate to streamline contracting. Let's innovate to reduce the cost of pilot scale and proof of concept production through access to common user facilities. Let's innovate to achieve co-designed tailored solutions to complex commercialisation challenges. And knowing how universities can support partners as they work through their individual innovation loop and the broader innovation process, and how universities themselves can then innovate to ensure relevance and value in their supporting role, will bring us all closer together to achieving our shared goal of progressing the battery energy value chain. And so universities are reaching out, eager to collaborate. The message I'd like to leave with you today is that let's keep communicating. Let's keep innovating on all fronts, and together, let's all unlock value for our stakeholders and our broader communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. I too would like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners on the lands of which we meet today. My name is Mel Nikolic and I lead industry engagement at QUT for the critical energy minerals portfolio and also energy storage. So what I would like to do today, I'm conscious that I'm the act before lunch, so I'll try and keep this as succinct as possible. I'd like to start just by giving a brief overview of our capabilities, but I can't help myself because it's been such an amazing year to just show some snapshots of some key highlights that I thought to share that have happened within our portfolio at QUT in terms of visits and strategies being announced and of course, just putting a spotlight on some of our partnerships as well. So at QUT, I think it's safe to say that we are very passionate about fostering the growth of Australian battery industries. And what I'm really proud of is the breadth of which we do this right across the battery value chain. So going all the way from developing low emission technologies to extract high value minerals from different feedstocks, whether that's waste or from different ore deposits. We're able to prototype pilot scale battery cells and test them, validate them. And we've heard today how important that is to see investment, to get that testing done by an independent provider to see how they actually perform. And then all the way through to demonstration and deployment of large scale and late stage TRL batteries to see how they actually perform in the real world, the QUT pun, the real world. So that's sort of where QUT sits. So we sit all the way across that, the value chain. And I guess what I wanted to do was also highlight, and we all are aware of the Queensland Battery Industry Strategy, which was announced earlier this year from our facility, which is an incredible achievement. And a key part of that strategy, the cornerstone of that strategy, is the Queensland Energy Storage Technology Hub. And I'd just like to acknowledge Associate Professor Joshua Watts and his research team that leads all this amazing work. So this is a $15 million investment from Queensland Government to QUT, and we're also supported by our industry partners to uplift our capability and capacity to more support all these amazing industry partners doing this great work to make a battery industry happen. So, this stems all the way across the redox flow battery space, the lithium-ion battery space. Obviously, we're uplifting all the testing that's required, having space for our industry to come and collaborate with us, and obviously skills, a big one. So also doing a lot of work in that. And I think we've heard a little bit about this one today, the Australian Battery Industrialisation Centre. So QUT, along with 4 other universities, of course UQ has also been a part of this, has been working closely with our colleagues at Queensland Government to help put forward a business case. So hopefully we'll hear more on that soon, but this is, I think what we've heard today is really a critical part to accelerate Australian battery industries and to be able to have commercial testing, battery testing services available in Australia, and of course uplift in the research support that can be provided as well to help the industry. So we've talked about Quest Hub, so it's what we say is our emerging facility, so it's being fitted out at the moment. I just wanted to take a moment just to acknowledge we've also got the advanced battery facility. So this is Quest Hub is sort of uplifting what we have at ABF. And what I really like about this is it's, again, that whole value chain where we can take the critical minerals, value add to those, test them in a battery, and give those results back to really help accelerate the technology development of battery technologies. Of course, I'd like to highlight the Lava Blue and QT partnership, which is obviously very important to us at QT, something we're really proud of. Sylvie is here today, and I saw David Russo as well from Lava Blue. And I just wanted to acknowledge too Professor Sarah Cooperthwaite and her research team that's leading from QU's side. So really doing amazing things there, and the partnership just keeps going from strength to strength. It's all about producing, again, high purity alumina that, from a range of feedstocks that will be used to create these high value products that are going to, be for battery separators and all sorts of things. And that's something that's being done right here. And I can't wait to see how that evolves as we go on. And just when we thought the battery strategy, the Queensland battery industry strategy was exciting enough, we had the Prime Minister out a few months later. It was all a bit too much. So that was very exciting, and it was just really nice to have the recognition of the QT with our partners of what we're trying to do, and we really want to unite the industry Australia-wide, and we can't all do this alone, and collaboration is key. So it was really great to have this opportunity, and a nice photo there. And also on the national side of things, we've heard a lot about this today. So yes, again, QT leading this Minerals to Megawatts bid, CRC bid. Fingers crossed it will get funded. And I've really enjoyed working collaboratively with all of our partners, whether those are universities, the education, I think TAFE Queensland is here today, one of our supporters, the training organisations, government, industry. It's just been such an amazing experience to do, and such an important thing that we need to have to really accelerate the commercialisation of all these different technologies. So I don't think anyone's actually said, but what this is about is fortifying Australia's energy security, and it's all around the critical renewable technologies. Yes, batteries is a very important part, but it's also looking at solar and wind. So in the end, I forgot to update the slide, but we got to $300 million or so of investment, 85 partners all across the country, and we'll just have to wait and see now what happens. The interviews will be on the 10th of December, and hopefully we'll have an outcome in the new year. But yeah, that's it. Thanks.